So you're looking for a scent that'll stop bucks right in their tracks. Well, stick around and let's talk about it. Be right back. Hey, thanks for sticking around. This is Gen 10-9, where we give common sense advice for everyday fishing and hunting situations for your average sportsman. And today we got video evidence of what quality deer scent can do for you and 2 mature bucks. So with that out of the way, let's get started. So a little context for the video that I'm about to show you. I currently use James Valley scent whenever I bow hunt, and I'm using either full draw or full rut, depending upon where I am in the bow season. And I've already done a video explaining how I use scent tabs, and I'll leave a link for that in the description box below. Suffice it to say that whenever I bow hunt and whenever I can, I provide 2 scent tabs behind me because I try to keep the wind in my face, and since my scent is going behind me, then that's the direction a mature buck is least likely to come. Now I use 2 tabs just in the hopes that maybe the scent will draw a buck and distract him, and he won't focus on other alien scents. So in this particular situation, I had 2 scent tabs directly behind me. Now, in this particular case, something kind of dramatic happened. I was in my stand overlooking a scrape that was about 20 yards in front of me, and as I said, I wasn't particularly paying attention to my backside since a very mild wind was taking my scent in that direction. And I'd seen a few bucks this morning, but they either weren't shooters or they weren't in range. And suddenly, I heard what was clearly a deer running through the woods, crashing through the woods. Now, this wasn't 2 squirrels fighting. This was clearly a deer coming directly towards me from my backside. Now, the only reason I was able to get this hunt on video is because that deer stopped directly behind a very large tree. And in the video, I'll put a little arrow that'll show you exactly where he stopped. But because he stopped right behind that large tree, I was able to turn around, get my composure, and get ready for a potential shot. And I was also able to turn my GoPro on. Now, let me reiterate, that buck was on a dead run, and he came to a sudden stop and began to look around and then started licking his nose. Now, when a buck starts to lick his nose, that means he's really interested in what he's smelling. So, with that in mind, here's the video. And while I'm at it, I might as well tell you about this other time I was hunting. And I had just got into my deer stand and was just getting settled in when I picked up this 11-pointer coming my way. And he was on me before I even had my arrow notched or my release on. And he came directly underneath my tree. And he even looked up at my tree and saw something in the tree that spooked him a little bit. So he loped off about 15, 20 yards directly behind the tree I was in. And when he did that, I thought I was pretty much busted and not going to get a shot. But he never made me. And by that, I mean he never smelt me or visually identified that I was a hunter. And so he did what a lot of bucks will do when they're either confused or just trying to figure out what's in their area. He circled around 20 yards downwind, directly downwind from me. And when he did that, he came within 6 feet of one of my scent tabs and stepped into my firing lane and gave me a perfect 20-yard shot. Now, just by way of sidebar, if a mature buck smells you or identifies that you're a hunter, then you're busted, and it's not likely you're going to get a quality shot at him. There's no scent on the market that will cover your stink or cause a mature buck to stay in the area once he identifies that you're a hunter. That product just doesn't exist. Now, unless divine providence is in your favor, you may miraculously get an opportunity at a buck that knows you're in the area, but chances are that's not going to happen. Maybe the only thing that will keep a buck within shooting range is if there's a doe in estrus right under your stand and she has not made you. If that ever happens, then that buck's going to be pretty conflicted. I remember one time I was pheasant hunting in Iowa, and we busted a doe and a buck on the bed while he was tending her. And he never saw us. The doe saw us, and she got up and lit out of there. And it was so funny because I don't think that buck ever saw us. But when that doe got up and ran away, his nose was right on her tail, and he was not leaving her. So, if you have the real McCoy underneath your stand, you've put a buck in a pretty conflicted situation. He doesn't want to stay, and he doesn't want to leave. But that's a really rare situation, and I wouldn't use it as a deer hunting strategy. So what's the takeaway? Well, the takeaway is this. If you're not using deer scent because you think it's a gimmick or maybe it's too expensive, then you may want to reconsider that strategy, especially if you're having a hard time getting shooter bucks to come in range. I'm currently using James Valley Scents, and this is not a paid endorsement, and I have to buy my own scent. This stuff is very effective when used properly, and it's reasonably priced. And best yet, they're on the web and they have great customer service. Oh, and I almost forgot. In case you're wondering, the buck in the video was a 9-pointer. But I have a more important question for some of you. I'm still learning how to use my GoPro while bow hunting. So if you have some good suggestions about a solid GoPro bow hunting setup, I'm all ears. Just leave a comment. Well, in the immortal words of Forrest Gump, that's all I have to say about that. If you appreciated the video and learned something from it, then hit like and share. Hey, may the Lord bring a wall hanger by your stand. Thanks for watching, and God bless.